Hello, I am Sharon Crandall, and I am a personality science manager. I am trained to assess your personality traits by looking and measuring at your facial features and other physical characteristics. In fact, you were born with over 50 personality traits that you inherited from your parents and grandparents. So it's all genetics. These traits are your natural tendency and specific default in approaching interactions and other things in life. And so you inherited these from your grandparents and your mom and your dad and so on. Now, traits are not good or bad, but you can use them, or you have the choice to use them to make things better or worse for you or for others. You need to know about those traits and how they fit into your whole lifestyle. You would do well to work within the range of your traits so that it's more natural. You will not use as much energy if you go with your nature rather than against it. So what happens is sometimes if you are coming up short in your work or home life, it might be because you are trying to be a square peg in a round hole. I'm older. I'm going on 76. And so, yes, I'm doing pretty well for my age in computer technology. But you have to understand where I came from. When I was young, we had to crank up the telephone to get the operator in order to get someone on the phone. And also we had a new wonderful invention at that time called the electric typewriter. What an innovative experience that was. And then in my early teenage years, I walked past the furniture store window and saw this screen in a box, and it was showing pictures and people were talking on this screen, and so that was my first experience with television. Now you have to understand that we did have a TV, but we could hardly see it. But we still thought it was wonderful and thrilling. Even snowy, but that's okay. We were able to watch a few programs. So now you see that you can understand, hopefully, and I hope you're kind to me, because you know I'm just challenged in this way, okay? Now, one more thing. I had a stroke a year ago because of surgery that I had. And I thought that my life was pretty much over and my career and so on. And I'm happy to say that God was good to me and I have recovered quite well. But if I stumble over my words a little bit, I hope you'll be understanding, okay? Because what I have to share with you is personality science, and it will change your life. It changed my life, my family's life, and many others. I've been doing this now for 35 years, over 35 years, really. And it has really been a wonderful thing in people's lives because there's a lot that can be explained with psychology, and certainly our families utilized counseling and so on at times. But there's nothing like personality science because it explains so much of your behavior, why you react the way you do, why others do, why you have interaction with others. That some people you're in sync with, and others is like, oh my goodness, it brings out the worst in you. the interaction with certain people. So this is going to explain a lot. It will also explain mood swings and a lot of things. And so we're going to go over some of those things now. But one of the wonderful things that you'll learn is that you'll learn about your own talents and your gifts and how to put them all together and how they work together. And just as importantly, you will learn what holds you back. Because you can have several traits that just are ready to take you right ahead in life, and boing, you've got this other trait to kind of interfere with the works, okay? And that trait actually will be a gift too, but you have to put it in its place. So you have to learn how to put your traits in their place, where they are working for you instead of against you. So watching my videos will change your life and the lives around you if you adopt these wonderful principles. Okay, let's go. I'm going to tell you first about a case history of mine. I was working with a young man who was working in his father's business and was expected to take over his business in a few years. And believe me, this guy was not looking forward to that time. He was not happy in his father's business, but you get pressured and you have things happen and you feel guilty and so on and so forth. And so we did his personality trait assessment. And this business of his father's required a lot of outdoors and mostly a lot of physical tasks. His traits indicated that he needed a lot of mental challenge and would be more comfortable working indoors. He also needed to be in an occupation where he could fulfill the trait of mental restlessness. And so after I assessed his complete profile, we discussed the possibilities of a more suitable career. And I am happy to say that this young man had the courage, and it does take courage to make that kind of a change in life. But he did, and he pursued a new career in an educational field. And at the last inquiry of his life, he had gone up and progressed in that business and doing well and loved it. I am happy to say that one of the most wonderful things that I can have as a personality manager is to actually see someone that becomes who they really are. There's an important part of this story, however, that I want to share, and that is when we were discussing his profile and he was telling me how he felt about it. He asked me, he said, "Do you think it is okay for me to want to continue to learn all the time?" And of course, I was happy to tell him that not only was he suited to learning that, but it was important for his well-being. Too often we hesitate to do what we really want to do because we think we should do something else. Maybe expectations of others or expectations that we have formed just from learning from others, or just learning from, the challenges that we have in life. So helping someone find fulfillment in their creation is a wonderful thing. If you ever want to get into personality science, it's certainly fulfilling. So who are you? Who are you, and what are your gifts and talents? What is it that you have to contribute to the world from your own unique combination of traits? And look around you. I've often heard the statement that God has gone out of his way to make things not look alike or be alike. You can have leaves on the trees, snowflakes, and even grains of sand. No two are alike. Now think about that. So don't you think that you are as important as all those things of creation? Of course you are. And so I would like to have you think about who you are, what you would like to be, and so on. Now, years ago, people didn't have that much choice. And I would not want to take away from all those people who worked so hard to get their children education and so on, doing the things that they probably weren't suited that well to do and didn't like and so on. But they made life so good for us. So we don't have an excuse. We have vocations or avocations or other activities galore to fulfill the needs of our native expression. And so if we want to make the world a better place, we will learn about ourselves and our creation. I would like to give you a quote now from Bruce Barton. And this is what he said: "If you have anything really valuable to contribute to this world, it will come through the expression of your own personality, that single spark of divinity that sets you off and makes you different from every other living creature." So having your own personality manager will help you find that niche, find your gifts and your talents, and how to work with them and how to work with others, and understand others, and be able to look at others and be able to tell about them and who they are and what they're all about. Here are a few things that you will find out by having your personality assessed. You will, yes, realize the gifts and talents that you have, and then another one will be, you will understand how your gifts, your challenges are actually gifts in disguise. So remember, the traits that give you challenges are also the positives, okay? The things that irritate you about yourself and others are actually their gifts, and you can look for that in yourself and others. You can also learn how to celebrate differences in marriage and how to bridge those differences, and how to really understand the other person and work together to so that you're supporting one another in their own vision, in their own life. Okay, you will understand the causes for many mood swings, confusion, depression, anger, and so on. You will find out what's holding you back. I think we talked about that a little bit. And you'll discover how your traits can guide you to your best career, vocation, or significant pursuit. And you will also learn how to raise children to become healthy, contributing adults. You'll learn a lot about that if you wish. And there's many also aspects to business in hiring and training and so on that you can learn. Okay, so I would like you to take a minute and look in the mirror and look at the shape of your nose. Are your lips thin or full? Do you have prominent cheekbones? What are the shapes of your eyebrows? Do your eyes slant up on the outward corner or down or straight across? Is your face wide or thin? What about the back of your head? Is it flat or is it rounded outward? Is your jaw square or more pointed? All of these are places that we look for your traits and more. There are only a few things that we look at, and And I want you to go to www.personalitymanager.com for more information. And from there you can also email me, okay? Now, I want to share one more thing before I close this video. I was at a bank one time, and I had an assignment for a workshop, and that was to talk to a stranger and have a meaningful conversation. So I saw this guy at the bank, and I noticed that he was very high on the trait of structural. Now, structural is what helps you to see how things should be built, designed, or structured. Engineers have it. Anybody that's working on projects, anybody that's artistic or writing music, how things are structured, or how sentences are structured for writing, or photography, whatever you're doing, where you need to see in your mind how something should look or be or designed or structured. So this was his trait, and he was very high. He would be like a 9 or 10 on it, okay? And so I waited until he got out of the bank, and then I approached him, and I started to talk to him. And I asked him if it was okay if I asked him a question. And he said yes, and I told him that I was trained in personality science, and I could read traits in his face, and I saw a trait that showed me that maybe he would be an engineer or something in the art field or something like that. And so I asked him if he was in any of those fields, and he said no. And he looked kind of puzzled for a minute, and then I said, well, you're very talented in that area. And so he looked kind of down, and then he brightened up, and he said, oh, you know, I always thought that I was a no account loser. He said, lately I've been doing a little photography, and I've had people tell me that it's good. And I will tell you that it made both of our days. I talked to him a little bit, and I encouraged him to not only do photography, but other fields in the art fields or music or something. Now, I have to tell you that he walked away with a different walk. I mean, he would look brighter, and he looked happier because someone had recognized his gift. And you can do that too once you learn how to do trait reading. And these are the joys and the things that we can have by helping each other to be able to see just how gifted and wonderful we all are. And there are a lot more gifts than just the artistic and the music fields. There's communication, there's just learning, work ethic. There's all sorts of people have some kind of a gift for a contribution to our world, and we need you, and we need each person. So thank you very much for watching our video, and be sure and subscribe and make your comments down there, and talk to this old lady once in a while, and we'll see what we can do to help each other with our lives. Thank you very much.